Today I'm going to show you how to build an Ikea Bissa shoe storage cabinet. The first thing you need to do is take the sides and you need to put 3 of these dowels with threads on the end of them in each side. You're going to put 1 on the front at the bottom, then you're going to put 2 on the back side, and the back side is the side that has the little groove out of it that is meant to go over your moulding. It's best to use a screwdriver, but if you want to do it a little bit quicker, use a drill and make sure you have the clutch on a lower setting so you don't drive these in too far. Now you're going to take the top plate and put 4 more of these in. Make sure to put them in the side that's on a little bit smaller of a hole. The other side is meant for a wooden dowel. We'll get to that later in the video. But you're going to put 2 in one side and 2 in the other side, and keep the drill on the lower speed setting and clutch setting so that you don't drive them in too far. You can see here that I've got all the dowels with threads in on the 2 side pieces and the top piece. Now we're going to take these little white clips and slot them into the side pieces. There are going to be 2 on either side, and you're going to attach them with these little screws here. You're going to put them in so that the screw hole is above the other screw hole, and you're going to take your drill and drive that screw in. Keep the speed setting low and the clutch down if you're going to be using a drill. Put the second one in on that side, and then do 2 on the corresponding side, and we'll put the screws in them too. You'll notice that there's a smooth side and a rib side. These little white clips, make sure the rib side goes into the hole and then the smooth piece is going to be facing up towards you. Now you need to install 1 wooden dowel next to every single metal dowel. Then you can take the cross member pieces, make sure that the holes are lined up with the metal dowel side and not the wooden dowel side. So you see me here making sure to get them the correct way around. There are 2 different types of cross members, 2 that are identical and 1 that's a little bit different, so make sure you use 2 that are the same on the back. Then we're going to put a wooden dowel in the cross member on the left hand side, and then the left hand side on this one here, making sure to leave the hole that has a locking nut go in it. We're going to put a dowel in the front piece here, and then take the other cross member. You'll notice that this is all wrapped, and you don't see any particle board on it. That's how you notice the front one. Line the hole up on the side with the metal dowel. Then you can take these little clips, slot them in, and then you can turn them with a screwdriver until they lock in place. Make sure to turn them until they don't turn anymore, but don't over tighten them or they may break. We're going to repeat this on the 3 dowels that we've got installed so far. So we're going to do this on the front one here. They can be a little bit fiddly to install, but just wiggle it around and line it up perfectly so that the opening goes past the metal dowel, and then when you turn it, it will lock in place. And then we're going to get the second back one here installed, and that one went a lot smoother than the other one. Now we can take the other side of the shoe storage cabinet and lift it on, but put 1 last dowel in first, and then we can line this up. Be careful here, you don't want to damage anything, and get 1 lined up, and then you can line the rest up. You have to wiggle this a little bit. Don't hit it too hard or you may end up damaging it. If a dowel's not all the way in, you may need to knock it in with a hammer before putting this side piece on. Now we can put all these little locking nuts in. There are 3 per side, so make sure you don't miss any of them. So we've got 1 here, then we're getting the base plate one, and then we'll get 1 more. With both sides connected by the cross members now, we can move this completed piece to this side. We're just going to get it out of the way, and we're going to bring in the top so that we can finish off prepping this to be installed. We're just going to put the wooden dowels in, as I did not do it before, but it's a good idea to put them in at the same time as putting the metal dowels in, so you don't forget. We've got 4 on this top plate here. With our shoe storage rack upside down, we can slot it onto the base. Make sure to line these up perfectly. You don't want to push it down too hard and damage the openings to the holes where the dowels are going to go. Be careful here, wiggle it around a little bit and get the metal dowels lined up first, and then it will slot in with a little bit of persuasion. If it's not pushing all the way in, try giving it a little tap on the outside, or pull it off and try again. Or you can just put a little bit more pressure on it and give it a good wiggle. Now we need to put the little locking mechanism nuts in. I don't have a really good word for that. If anyone knows what these are actually called, leave a comment in the description below because I'd love to know. And we're going to make sure we secure these correctly by turning them all the way around until they are locked in place. If you're not sure if these are locked in place properly, see if you can pull any piece off. And if it comes off, they weren't locked in place. And if it doesn't come off, they are locked in place. With the shoe storage cabinet upside down, it's a good time to install the feet, and you just need a hammer here. They're little nails with little feet on them, and they go in really easily. Make sure to leave them far enough away from the back. If you've got an uneven floor or you have a baseboard that kicks out, maybe you have to notch the backs of the cabinet a little bit more so. Bear that in mind when you're putting the foot in. Now we're going to take these fat screws and secure these door hinge brackets to the door faces. There are left-hand side hinges and right-hand side hinges, so make sure that you identify which is which and you don't end up with two right-hand or two left-hand on there. Really easy. The screw holes go to the inside and the rest of the bracket is on the outside here. Use my drill again. I haven't changed my settings from before, so I'm not going to strip any screw. I'm not going to drive any screw in too far. And these are going to be perfectly tight. Or you can use a screwdriver. It just takes a little bit longer. It's important to get these hinges the correct way around. If you don't, I don't think the drawers will open or shelves will open correctly. So just make sure that the holes where the screws go in are on the inside and then it is smooth with the face of the door on the outside. It's time to install the shelf. Now pick the biggest shelf that you've got because you've got 3 different sizes and it's going to slot in to the bottom here. There are little clips that will keep it in place. Just make sure to pull the bracket out and then put it over. Now you're going to put 1 screw in each side. Be careful when driving this in. You don't want to over tighten it or put it in at an angle or you'll end up blowing through the shelf. We're just doing the other side here. I like this design. It kind of holds the shelf in place. Now you're going to take the medium sized shelf and put it in above that. And this is more of a keeper so that shoes don't fall out the back. I'm going to put a screw in either side as well. Same thing here. Make sure to go nice and slow. I almost went at an angle there, but I was able to correct it so that the screw didn't poke all the way through.
To make this look very complicated, but basically all you have to do is take the face of your drawer, slot it in. You have to come in at a little bit of an angle to get past those little white clips that are down here. You're going to push this up till it hits the white clip here. Now you're going to take one of these and a screw and screw it in. So I'm going to try putting the screw through this little washer first, then I can line that hole up like that, and then I can screw this in. It says not to use a drill, but you probably get away with using it. It's not too bad to do it by hand. And that's how you build a Bissa shoe storage rack from Ikea. If you want to find out what I'm doing with 3 of these, check out this video over here.